Hey there! Welcome back to my series where I attempt to create a Roblox horror game from scratch with no experience in coding, animating, or anything other than building. Here's a recap if you didn't watch the previous video. The previous video was just me getting started making the basic stuff for the map, just a little bit of scripting here and there, and yeah. This week, some of the work was actually off camera because unfortunately I was not really able to record or on in the circumstances to record. So there were scripts for flashlights, then shift to run and all this that weren't really in the final video because I didn't record them really. And yeah, so other than that, it's just mostly the building stuff I believe in this week, but there were other things I did, and yeah. But I really hope you enjoy the rest of this video, and if you stay to the end, there'll be some extra stuff there. So here we go. So for this week, the game plan was that we just work on whatever we can, mostly the scripting parts, just get a little introductory into the scripting, just get that little introduction because I didn't really have experience with much of scripting really, so it was gonna be a challenge, but I can take a challenge. I like challenges. Day 1, week 2. So today I just decided to work on the scripts, the scripting part mostly, and I decided to figure out how to add torches to the character so that when they spawn in with a flashlight. Now the trouble with getting this flashlight to work was the fact that the flashlight wouldn't wouldn't work properly, and I had to go over it over and over and over and over again until it finally did. And then I had to write the script only in a specific team inventory, so that's what I did. And then I also began with the second house, third building for the map, and I decided this would be like more of a modern suburban type house. I know it's a bit strange for the setting that I'm trying to create it in, but the thing is, I think if I make it completely, I think it'll fit in just right, because I still haven't decided a time period for this to happen. So I went ahead and I did that, and I think it turned out pretty great. And that was the conclusion for day 1 of week 2. As for the last video, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I mean, obviously there were things I learned here and there, which is why the format for this week is a little bit different. But the thing is that it really surprised me how the amount of views I got on that. I certainly wasn't expecting that. I even put up an Instagram story saying I don't recall having that many friends, but yeah, it was actually crazy, and the comments were really positive too. So really thank you guys for that, and I will try to make this video more engaging because I realized how awkward it felt on that video. So yeah, thank you guys for really actually going through that video, for supporting me through this, and for the positive comments I get every day. Thanks guys. Day 2 of week 2. Now today my work was just based on setting up the lighting for the second house. Now obviously you can't really put torches in a house, and I had already created a lantern. Now the thing I wanted to really try out and try to figure out was how to make the lantern sway, right? because it can't just be anchored in the air, especially when players are able to hit it and everything. So I worked most of the day on figuring out how to make the lantern sway and how to weld it together so that none of it breaks apart, because that's what I was having trouble with in the beginning. I tried to do it without knowing how to actually weld anything, and it just kept on breaking apart over and over and over and over again. And then I finally figured it out, and I was able to properly create the lantern and give it its swaying effect using the rope constraint. And then I decided to figure out how to make the door as well swing, because the door in the other buildings, they're open, right? And we can't have that for every building because that just looks weird. I'll at least need one building where the doors are properly swinging, and that's what I tried to figure out. It worked, but then it started breaking apart my lanterns for some reason. So I thought I'd give it a rest and try again the next day. Day 3 of week 2. Now today I just continued with trying to make the door swing, and I actually think I mostly got it figured out. I redid the entire thing by using uh, the time saves. So I reset it using the time saves, and then I started again, and I specifically selected parts, as you'll probably see in the clips. I selected specific parts so that it swings, and then I finally got it to swing properly. I finally figured out the issues that it had, and then I decided to also work on how to and then I also decided to work on how to make it like swing back and forth smoothly. And I tried adding spring constraints, but the issue is they would just keep on messing up my door. So instead of that, I just set limits to how much the door can swing, just 180 degrees and whatnot. And I think it turned out better in that way, because a closing door on itself, it would look weird in a sense. I mean, it would be better for the aesthetics, I agree, but unfortunately it just wasn't possible. And so yeah, I did that, and that's what took up most of my day today, just figuring that out and setting it back in its proper place. Plans for tomorrow is probably just keep on working on the house, add a few things here and there, fix it up, and when it looks nice, that's the third house done. I'll do a few more houses, and in the meantime, my friend, he's almost close to finishing up the rig, not the rig, the model, and I'll just rig it up. So make sure to look out for that. All right. Week 2, day 4. Today I was not really able to do anything, as unfortunately I have a life, and due to that I wasn't able to make much progress on the game, and therefore I'll just cut to the next day. Day 5 of week 2. Today I just decided to work on some of the furniture, including a swinging door. The door, to be fair, was quite hard to get to because the swinging aspect of the door just wasn't working. And it took me a while, but I eventually figured it out. And there's still somewhat of an issue, but funnily enough, the issue actually helps the overall effect of the game, making the doors more sturdy, more rigid actually, not sturdy, so that when somebody tries to push through, it takes some time and then it'll open. Just mirroring real life to a degree. As for the other things, it seems smooth. I made a drawer and a bed as well, and that was it for the day 5. Now we're gonna cut to the next day. Why didn't this stop? Day 6 of week 2. Today I just tried to work more on the interior of these third house, I think it is. But yeah, I just tried working on the interior there, making the fireplace, the bed, the cabinet. That was mostly it for today because I was actually busy on that day, and I was actually sick too. So I did whatever I could, and unfortunately, that was it. Just halting my progress a little bit, but we can carry on regardless, and hopefully, I can do much better for the next day. My challenges with scripting really is that coding for me generally, I'm not really experienced in it. I understand the logic to some degree thanks to actually having computer science for 2 years, but the unfortunate part is Roblox Lua is not like the other coding languages. It's similar, but it's not exactly that. So it takes a bit of time to get used to, and so I had to go through videos. I had to actually look up tutorials on how to do things because I had no idea that some of the functions even existed. And yeah, it just took me some time, And I mean, overall, sure, it was a learning experience, but looking at the stuff that I have to do later on, it's really not looking good right now. Hopefully, I can get through them, but let's see. As you might see on screen, at the moment I'm just creating a smaller cabin. The reason for this actually was because um, I was thinking of, the other houses are huge, right? The town halls are absolutely huge and obviously has to be. But I mean, not every house in a village can be huge, especially given that it is a village and there are different classes of people living there. So I decided to make this house like a smaller cabin, a small but cozy cabin, and use like furniture that looked cheaper, right? Cheaper and looked older. So yeah, that was the main idea for this cabin. So and then I also built a fireplace because I realized that the other houses didn't really have that, and I thought maybe I could incorporate it in this house, see what it looks like, and I think it turned out great. And yeah, I'll also be making like obvious holes in the walls and whatnot, but for now I like the way it looks. I also used like a cheaper bed frame here, if you notice, and as well as like a cheaper version of the table and the chairs. So just to give like that little bit of aesthetic, I'm just trying to create a really good, like a really plausible atmosphere, just little details here and there. Day 7 of week 2. This is the final day of the week, and today I decided to take on my biggest challenge. And yeah, it's the transformation of the humanoid to the beast. For now, I'll just use a Batman model because it's easier for me that way. Because I still have to make the monster model, and I'll also have to rig it up, set up the animation, stuff like that, which I have no experience in doing yet. So for now, I'll just use a Batman model to transform into, and then we'll figure it out from there. But yeah, if you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you guys so much. And again, thank you for the support on the last video. The comments were actually really nice. And again, I don't expect this video to go as big as that one did, but if it does, well, I'm going to be on cloud 9, aren't I? But yeah, thank you guys for staying, and thank you guys for supporting me through this. As for what comes next week, if you guys didn't know, I don't really post per week. I say a week, but the editing takes time and all. So by the time I'm usually making a video, I'm usually done with 2 weeks of work. So what I didn't really know when I was ending this week was how annoying, how hard the transformations would be. And trust me, it took me an entire week to get them right, and even then they're not complete. I still have to work on some of the other aspects. But sneak peek for week 2 will actually just include like 99% scripting, I think, because the whole week I was busy with the transformations, then making a van as the exit point for the game. So you guys will really get to see that if you stick around to next week or whenever the next week video posts. So it would be really nice of you guys. And I might also be going on holiday in between for family reasons, and I'm really hoping I can get this thing done by the end of that. But you know what, we'll see. Alright, bye. If you guys like this video, please subscribe, like, and if you can, share to your other enthusiastic buddies, the ones who like this kind of stuff. It really helps the channel. And if you want to keep on supporting the channel, you can obviously follow us on our social pages, such as Twitter or X, whatever really, at combatthedev, and on Instagram at combatlesscreates. Thanks and bye.